Going down in the picturesque island nation of Puerto Rico, super lightweight boogeyman Subriel Matias defends his IBF Super Lightweight title for the second time since picking up the belt, vacant at the time in early 2023, after former champion Josh Taylor relinquished the title the previous year in order to face rival Jack Catterall for a second time and make right his controversial win over Catterall in their first meeting earlier that same year. Their rematch has now come and gone, and sadly for Taylor, things didn't go his way. Catterall proved that he is the better man than the present day Josh Taylor. But our focus is Matias and his next opponent, the plucky and daring Australian Liam Paro. Liam is coming off back-to-back stoppage victories over domestic contender Brock Jarvis and more recently American Montana Love. Team Paro is feeling confident that they can get the job done and are looking forward to potentially holding aloft a fully fledged major title this June 15th. Like Shaquille O'Neal standing at a McDonald's counter, this could be a tall order for Paro, but just maybe Team Paro could be catching Matias at the right time. Let's get into it! If you have been watching this channel along with a handful of fellow YouTube boxing content creators, you would have heard the name Subriel Matias come up many times, and by now are familiar with the lore, mystique, and legend that is the bone-crunching power and unstoppable force of Puerto Rico's super lightweight modern-day version of heavyweight icon Smokin' Joe Frazier. Not identical in style, of course, that's not what I'm saying, but the intense and relentless pressure along with a vicious left hook are just some of the comparative parallels that I'm drawing. But where Frazier hunkered down, coming in from a slight stoop, Matias smothers you, standing upright, and unloads a barrage of combination punching when he feels he has his opponent's measure. As you would know by now, the power in both Matias' hands have literally taken the life in the ring before. You would have to imagine that an incident like that must at least creep into the minds of his opponents even a little bit, which is one reason he has been a somewhat avoided fighter, and which is why massive kudos to Liam Paro and team who don't appear the slightest bit intimidated. It is boxing at the end of the day, and every fighter in their family and team are well aware of the potential consequences in the sport. Make no mistake, Liam is taking on a very serious, no-nonsense fella. 20 victories, with all of them by stoppage one way or another, and just the one loss that was avenged. Subriel Matias is the type of fighter their opponents can't afford to make even the slightest error when standing in front of him. That's actually the biggest error right there, standing stationary in front of Matias. That's a big no-no. Luckily, Liam displays good movement around the ring. Liam has a good boxing foundation, and speed and movement are key components to Liam's mobility around the ring. It's been a big part of his success, along with patience, shot selection, and decent power. Matias has proven he can take a shot. His chin is part of the reason he feels confident, standing upright and in front of his opponents when on the offensive, taking shots on the gloves but occasionally to the head. Power can be generated from a combination of positioning, timing, speed, and technique, and Paro has all of these attributes along with movement. But is it enough to keep Matias off of him? Liam the prodigy Paro is walking into this fight armed with some advantageous ammunition if used correctly against the Puerto Rican. For starters, at least for my benefit, he's got an easier ring alias to pronounce than Matias. El Orgullo de Martinil, El Orgullo. Nah, we're good. Cheers, Cobber. In the ring, Paro has the slight height and reach advantage over Matias, at least going by the BoxRec stats. He can use his height and reach to keep Matias at length when he needs to be away from him, or he can use it to tag Matias from mid-range before getting out of harm's way, or changing the angle of attack, again from a relatively safe space, should Paro feel froggy and want to exchange a little longer before shifting out of the danger zone. If Paro can conserve his energy by boxing efficiently and intelligently, which he's competent of doing, he can look at trading with Matias later in the fight, if he and his corner feel it is safer to do so when Matias is no longer fresh, but staying away from Subriel's power early will be crucial. Liam Paro is younger than Matias by 4 years, so maybe you can say that Paro is younger and fresher, but having said that, Matias has been slightly more active than Liam recently, in part due to Liam's previous injury woes, so Matias could be sharper. Paro has had more pro fights than Matias and on average has had more rounds time in the ring and under the hot lights than Matias. Then again, maybe that's because Subriel is taking opponents out too damn early. Liam Paro does have decent power, but again, Matias has proven that he has a chin, and the guys Paro has been knocking out are arguably a lower level than Subriel's opponents. With regards to these opponents, Paro stopped in devastating fashion, mind you, a former bantamweight who rushed up the weight division a little too quickly and bit off more than he could chew when getting in the ring with Paro. That was Brock Jarvis, of course. And Liam stopped and overhyped Montana Love, who struggled with another Aussie, Stevie Spark, in a fight just before the Paro fight. This is not taking anything away from Liam, however, because he is a legitimate contender who has successfully defended lesser versions of the WBO and IBF titles multiple times, so I hope Subriel is not sleeping on Liam. If I'm wrong, I'm happy to have relations with my new and expensive couch, but you should know by now that I'll always support our Aussie fighters when they take on the world. You should also know by now that I'm not going to sugarcoat it or kiss anyone's ass for the sake of staying in good graces. Liam Paro has a lot going for him in this fight. It's the stuff I already mentioned, plus the fact that he's a southpaw, which always makes things awkward for orthodox fighters. And Liam is the underdog, but these things can also be cancelled out because Subriel Matias has experience with southpaws. Also, Matias is probably looking forward to fighting in front of his home crowd in Puerto Rico and will have the support and home advantage, even if they are both promoted by Matchroom. If these two met later, when Subriel Matias is eventually on the slide, I would give Paro great odds, but Matias is still in the zone, somewhere around his peak, and I just think he'll be too much for Liam. I see a late TKO stoppage win for Subriel Matias, but hey, I'm happy to be wrong. Let us know in the comments below who you think wins and how! Thank you for watching Pound for Pound TV. Please remember to subscribe and hit that notification bell for future updates. See you in the next one. Check out our Patreon page to become a Patreon family member where you'll receive some cool perks. If you're looking for some new threads, we've got t-shirts, hoodies, and much, much more. So head on over to our Michael Akobi Pound for Pound TV stores. They can be found on Redbubble and Spreadshop. Join me on my travels and head on over to my other YouTube channel titled Barefoot and Free. There you can follow me as I traverse the many parts of our planet and occasionally get into a spot of bother. Nonetheless, it's always fun and entertaining. If you're struggling with some of life's obstacles and challenges, my book How to Get Out of Life Traps might just be the answer that you're looking for to help guide you through the difficult times. It's helped many get past some of their darkest moments, and it might do the same to you. You can purchase it on Amazon, where you can also find a wide range of my other works. Those works include screenplay to book adaptations, a fairly unique concept, with genres covering comedy, heist and revenge, drama, supernatural and crime, if that's more your cup of tea. You can find them by following the link provided.